Campus life is that part of your life that you will relive in your memories until you breathe your last. Welcome to Decades Salle, here to recall the past, reconcile the present, and rally the future. I'm joined today in our pilot episode by three luminaries of DLSU. But first, let's put a marker on the time. The Vietnam War has ended. Margaret Thatcher is the first woman elected to lead the UK's Conservative Party. Egypt reopens the Suez Canal. Here in the Philippines, there was thrilla in Manila, bringing in Muhammad Ali against Joe Frazier in Araneta Coliseum. And that is also the time when Doc Louie Razon enters campus as a university student. He's a Lasallian through and through, being one from elementary, fully green-blooded. He still works for the university as professor of chemical engineering, his area of expertise. And today, he's with us as one of our three luminaries of DLSU. I also want to share that he used to be a statistician of the Lady Archers, not the ball boy. There is a huge distinction. And he's here to talk about life in LaSalle, then and now. So, Doc Louie, welcome to our first ever podcast. Our next guest, I know from my own experience as a student in DLSU, he is one that I would say is animo personified. I think if there is one person who has attended the most games in the most categories, in the most years, it would be him. Today, 2023, he was just telling me that he was waiting for the second round schedules of the women's football and baseball. And that counts how many decades already of being a very proud and loud DLSU animo starter. Please welcome Mr. Gerry Achacoso, our lovely second guest. And now for our third guest, the year is 1991. And for many of us in campus, we join a school organization, a club, a sporting group. But for this one, it was a school paper, namely the Lasallian. And in 1991, this guest helms it as editor-in-chief. He is an economist specializing in experimental economics, and he's also a fountain pen collector. I consider him a very, very dear friend too and mentor, and very happy to reconnect with the great Bombit Largoza. All right. I guess we can begin with saying, what was it like as a student? I know it's like a few years in the past, but Dr. Louie, if you want to share a bit of 1975, what was campus like?
Much less students.
Oh,
Much more casual. The football field was still there. Co-eds had just come in. LaSalle went co-ed in 1973. And then I was in engineering, so there were very few women at the time. And for a while, they were still required to wear uniforms. So it was funny, but it was, what a contrast to now. I think we actually have a majority. I'm not sure about the stats. I think we actually have a majority of women.
A few years.
Of females in campus.
Yes, co-eds, and especially in senior high. It's like I'm teaching partly senior high now. It's like 60-70% women. So it's like, wow. So,
The girls
in the 50
now
years,
outnumber the boys.
in the 50 years since we went co-ed, there's been such a dramatic change. Women there that were few and far in between. That's why it was such a novelty to have a women's basketball team.
Yes, and you were a statistician for the Lady Archers.
Yeah.
That was a first in so many levels, I think. No?
Yeah, and the first year that we joined basketball tournament, we got the championship right away. So we joined in 1976 and won the WNCAA.
Wow.
Right away. Yeah, so within 3 years of going co-ed, we had our first women's title.
And I was able to speak with one of the primas, and she was telling me that aside from being athletically gifted, hence the championship. They were also very smart.
Yes.
Earning them, of course, the respect of the
Yeah, they had a hard time.
income. And Sir Gerry, you have been with LaSalle across the decades and you've seen the evolution. But I'd like you to look back. How was it back then? Blue jeans, or was it like uniform? Just the girls?
It was back in 1973, the first batch of co-ed, and we were still not a university then until 1975. So, like Doc Louie said, mas konti kami noon, and you could say you knew everybody by face and or name. Then that's how intimate the student body was then.
And how did you get to school? What were the hangouts? I am trying to paint a picture for our audience, no? Because of course, the LaSalle campus, when you close your eyes, everyone thinks of the LS building or the LaSalle building. But what were the buildings around back then, aside from LS?
Oh, it was just the William Hall at the back, and then
SBA, yeah.
the library,
Yeah.
Hang on, the old library, right?
the old
The
library.
old library.
The really old library.
Really, yeah.
Yung bina.
And I used to even park on the driveway because it was still open. There was no sa LRT. There was no LRT
No
line
LRT.
then. Yes, we had Archer's Nook across the school. Ernest Billiards, where you
Ernie's, yeah.
Ernest, yeah.
I love
What is it now?
that.
On Estrada.
Along the street.
Yes.
Along Estrada.
They said you have to go learn your LM Bill from their elementary billiards.
Ellen Bill.
Elementary billiard.
Yeah.
Multi-story siya.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
really?
3-story billiard.
Building, yes.
Where the
Fascinating.
Beside,
yeah.
yeah. And the hustlers were on the ground floor. And then, and then your skill level, mga bano would be in third floor. Yeah.
I see. So you worked your way down the
Downwards.
building.
Yeah. Yan sila, Amang Parika, used to play
Yeah,
there,
yes,
hustling the students.
Wow. During my time, it was Counter-Strike. But yours, it was the billiards.
Yeah, those balls came in handy when every time there's an NCAA melee going outside the top, so nauubos yung bola ng billiard.
They
Because
would disappear.
yes.
Yeah.
Narinig ko rin yan, bata.
Ammunition.
Yes.
I never actually saw it, but I heard.
Because they had to walk to Rizal, which is where the games used to be, right?
Yeah.
So the visitors
In the
had to-
NCAA.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
walk through.
Used
There's
to be
the gauntlet.
conducted.
Yes.
Yeah, and
In the
the billiard
Rizal.
ball would be really,
That's a hefty weapon.
yeah, and very throwable.
For the hooligans.
Yeah.
And Bombit, of course, 1990s and
Late
late 80s.
80s,
Yeah. Could you paint us a picture?
Yeah, if you lived in the south, it was horrible. Because in the late 80s, that's when the coastal road extension was being built. And then the flyovers were being built. So I have this very vivid memory of having one class, a Tuesday, Thursday, 8 to 9:30 class. And that would be my only class for the day. And it would take me 4 hours, 3 hours just to get to school
Oh.
for a 1.5-hour class. And then you have to make your way back. So I think people from a certain generation will remember that time from all the infrastructure being built. Yeah.
And then you were in the LaSallian, starting as an associate editor before becoming EIC. I think we can touch on that a little bit more later because I have a few anecdotes on being the LaSallian editor too. But I guess we would love to share with our audience too. What was the perception of LaSallians? Or I think LaSallites was the term back then, no?
Yes. Lasalista.
LaSalista, LaSalite. And what was the, I guess, prevailing notion on LaSalistas at the time? Was it social or matalino or magiging boss ko. Or may ano ng kumpanya.
I think more or less the same as now. I think.
It's still the same.
Yeah, social nga, yan. Tisoy.
Tisoy.
Although now, ngayon, Chinoy na, di ba? Pero, yeah, mga tisoy daw.
Yun, tawag na, Konyo Kids.
Konyo Kids.
The Konyo Kids.
But promoted by like, the likes of sina Edo Manzano nga yan. Yung mga tisoy nun.
Yeah.
And were they the bench boys?
The bench boys.
The Bench Boys, yes.
Could you share to the audience, what was the concept of bench boys for the ones
They were
They were
statisticians
legendary. Statisticians. Predating Facebook.
Yeah.
But similar to how...
And then I avoided the Bench Boys. I had to detour because you don't know you'll be part of their pranks.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was a genuine, I guess, fiefdom then.
Yeah, it's got the benches in front of SJ. Those were the...
And the gym.
And the gym.
Yes.
Yeah, and...
The old gym.
Yeah, so that's one of the hardships the co-eds went through.
Yes.
Because when they would pass by, it was a beauty contest.
They would be subject to
So
the
subject to beauty
attention
contest.
of the bench boys.
And so, yeah, there'll be bets placed.
Oh my
So
goodness.
you get number 1, you get number 2. Number 3. Okay, the first one, oops. So there would be ratings given. And I go, okay. So that's one of the things the women went through because it's really... Because there was... Miguel already was there, but it was called Benilde. So you had to get to Benilde.
And that's right.
You had to pass through
Yes.
because the football field
Yes.
was like dividing the whole
Yes,
campus.
yes.
So to get from LS to
No LS.
There's
to
the main
Benilde.
thoroughfare. There's no
Yeah,
choice.
Yeah.
there's just that one, that one walk. Right? So the SJ walk,
Catwalk.
the catwalk,
Yes.
Runway for
the runway.
Lasalites and Lasalistas, now Lasalians. And I guess we would love to hear also, what were classes like back then? Was it the entire day? Because Bombit described, Tuesdays, Thursdays for him sometimes would just be an hour and a half. Of course, now with the pandemic, we had to go through online classes. So if you could share a bit more on how classes were conducted at that time, we'd love to hear it. Like, of course, there were no projectors, there were no no computers.
What did they call them? Overhead
Overhead projector.
Yeah.
Yes,
We
yes.
still, yeah.
There was one in the entire campus.
One overhead projector,
One overhead
for
projector.
the entire campus.
Yeah, so agawan.
Or as Dr. Tulia puts it, dalawa lang yung doktor nun, pareho pang nasa clinic.
Yeah, by the time I came in, there were sina Paulino Tan, there were a couple in and they came and went. No one really stayed. No, ilang percent PhD na ba tayo? 70.
Yeah. It's a bit weird because
You're the one who knows this
no,
stuff.
at the time. Well, first of all, I think it must have been our batch where all the buildings were air conditioned. I'm sure during your time, maybe only LS was
A
air
handful,
conditioned.
yeah. There were only a handful of classrooms.
Yeah, so that's one thing. I don't know how we managed to keep the noise from Taft out.
From Taft. Wala
Yeah.
pang LRT.
Yeah, most of my classes were in LS.
Yeah.
Aircon na ba nun? Ako sa Benilde. Benilde is now called Miguel.
And I learned,
Yeah,
I learned
yeah,
something
aircon,
during
yes,
during the retrofitting. I learned something about how the construction of that main hall in LS actually helped not just with the ventilation but also with some of the noise management.
Oh,
Yeah. So it was constructed in a very
Yeah, may
very
wine
nice way.
cellar pa daw dyan, di ba?
Wine cellar?
Hindi, doon sa baba yata. I mean, they're Christian brothers, di ba? May winery pa sa Napa Valley.
yes, that's true.
So parang, okay. So they like their wine.
That's a little
Well, and the founder din mismo, di ba?
I was today years old to learn that there's a wine cellar.
There was.
Was.
And then, well, I guess during the war, something happened to it.
And speaking of the war, when I was a kid, there was a rumor that there was a tunnel leading
Yeah.
from that room beside the elevator on the south side of LS. all the way to Saints Go. That's what I
Urban legend na yan talaga.
But judging from your facial expression,
Allegedly. Yeah.
Allegedly, there was
Well,
a ton
there's
of-
that bridge sa Rizal Memorial, di ba?
Ayun, yes. So,
But I have a very distinct memory then of being in freshman and second year classes and getting the sense that LaSalle was full of like intellectual giants. I mean, we have more PhDs now, probably than ever before. But I can't seem to recapture that that atmosphere back then. That on campus were like really big intellectuals. I think people who stood for, who didn't just have high H indices, but who actually stood for something. So I think in my freshman year, I had Marcelino Foronda,
Foronda.
for history.
Si, God.
This is what happened.
Well, this is my mother's generation.
okay.
Si Ariston Estrada.
yes.
Yun nga, he lost his seminar room. Yun, di ba? It became the chapel. I've been trying to get people to name something after.
Naging PGP na siya, no?
Yeah, I've been trying to get people to name another room after him.
Brother Andrew is
Well, brother Andrew, yeah. Saka si Eleuterio, Dr. Fernando Eleuterio.
So you had that feeling that there were real giants on
Kaya
campus,
talagang
and you were lucky
leading,
if you got into their classes.
leading lights in the country.
Yeah.
Si Salvador Rojas Gonzalez.
Oh.
Who wasn't a PhD, pero was MS Cambridge.
Wow.
So parang okay, parang better daw than any PhD. Yeah, physics siya.
Dr. Quito.
Ngayon, Emerita Quito.
Yeah.
Yan.
Naging prof ko yun, no?
And aside from the intellectual giants, how about the sporting giants of the time? Who were the star athletes, or what was our track record in that season of? You mentioned in yours we were the champions of
Yeah,
the NCAA, the Lady Archers.
Lady Archers.
Yes, the Green Archers were champions in 71 and 74. I was lucky enough to watch Lim Eng Beng since I was a cheerleader in high school, so we got to stay and watch the seniors. So I saw a lot of these games, and we were general champions in NCAA then also.
Several years.
It was hard to do it in UAAP, but we got 3. Anyway, later on, we got 3 in 4 years. But then,
Yung football team was really dominant at the time.
Yes.
Mga tisoy nga eh.
yeah,
RIP football field.
yeah. I heard the goalkeeper had to bring a comic book to read while all the plays were happening in the other half of the field.
He was so
I love
bored.
that.
The ball wouldn't go to our side of the field.
That was how good our football team was,
There
our
was
soccer team was.
There was an epic game because the LaSalle Green Hills team was so strong that they actually challenged the seniors team to a football match, and they won.
Amazing.
Talaga. So the juniors beat the seniors. Yan, yung mga Moran.
Moran brothers,
The Moran
yes.
brothers.
Yeah, and Lim Eng Beng to the audience is one of the most iconic basketball players, not just from collegiate, but all the way to his professional career.
Yes.
One of the shining stars.
UTEX. Sa UTEX.
UTEX, yes.
The ones who broke the Crispa Toyota,
Duopoly.
duopoly.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, sila ng San Miguel. And siyempre the ones whose numbers were retired were Lim Eng Beng.
Lim Eng Beng.
And then for a long time, Bachman. Pero hindi ko na, ikaw inabutan mo siguro si Bachman.
Hindi naman. Maybe the son.
Si Dicky
commissioner.
Bachman. Yeah, so maraming multi-generational things like that.
Yes.
During my time, it was the era of sina Ren Ritualo. And
Willie Wilson.
Manila Santos.
T.Y. Tang.
Yeah, so we
Right time.
we pretty much have the same experience because the generation from the late 80s, I think, was lucky and unlucky. So We joined the UAAP when I was in high school. That was
86.
yeah, 86. So we got to watch a couple of juniors games before that, and then that's where you get the sense of the rivalry. But when we entered in 88 as first-year students, that was a heartbreak season kasi first LaSalle Ateneo
Yes.
championship in the UAAP at the time, and we lost it in the most heartbreaking
But
way.
only on our third year pa
And
lang
then
yun.
direct
ah.
po.
Yeah,
We
but
were already
that's the thing that most people forget. I mean, it's
It was only our third year. in the
Back
UAE.
then,
the
it seemed like
UAP and we're in the championship.
Yeah, the first year, kulela tayo. Like 86.
and that's when Franz Pamarin was playing for us as
Yeah.
well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of the other San Miguel stalwarts
Yeah.
spent time with us.
Yeah.
I still remember the 3-point buzzer beater of Aldeguer. That was
College ka na ba?
the shot.
no, I was,
No, that
but it was, I was entering campus, so it was constantly being played.
1999?
Yeah, 19.
Yeah.
I entered
1999.
campus 2000,
Ah, okay.
so
So we were
memory was very very fresh.
three-peat na tayo nun eh.
Yeah.
Three-peat na natin.
Two-peat na.
Back to back pa lang. nun.
98,
right,
99, 2000,
Third yung
2000. Yes.
Yeah, third was 2000. And then 2001 was the LaSalle Ateneo Championship. We beat them. Yeah.
That was when
was epic.
I genuinely thought we were going to break down the Coliseum with how.
And speaking of Coliseum, medyo ano na yun, iba na yung UAAP experience ng time na yun. Kasi originally sa Rizal.
Rizal.
If you can imagine a Rizal final.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you fit all those people?
Vito Cruz turned into a parking lot.
Street party.
Umiikot sa parking lot. No one could pass through. Talagang wala.
Actually, yung pila pa lang ng ticket. So from the Rizal Memorial main entrance, right? So that the ticket booth is this tiny hole, literally a
Yeah,
hole in
yeah.
the wall, right? And then
Yeah.
the line snaked all the way to Gokong Wei.
Wow.
If you can imagine, yeah, people were lining up for tickets back then, and it wasn't a comfortable thing, really, just to be sitting in there.
Yeah,
pushed
no
against-
aircon.
No aircon.
No
no
aircon.
aircon.
Oh my God.
It's part of the experience.
Yeah,
I think the first,
iba talaga.
the first final in Araneta was the 90 final.
Siguro.
Limpot against
Yeah.
against Ravena's father, Bong Ravena,
Bong.
UE. Yeah. And I remember how different the experience was being in a larger venue for one with air conditioning.
Yes.
And yeah.
And you really need to yell louder
Just to be heard.
Yeah, because Rizal Memorial, yun, my first memory of watching a basketball game was yun nga sa Rizal Memorial. My parents brought us, and they stuck us in the bleachers.
Oh no!
Grade
Bye.
5.
The best place to be in.
Yeah, talagang, what is this? What's happening?
What an initiation!
What are all these people like, talagang ibang-iba talaga. Ngayon, everyone's so decent, no?
Pwede ka ba lumabas after, di ba? Pero noon, I mean, noon sa Rizal, pag pumunta ka sa game, understood na uuwi ka na pagkatapos kasi sobrang
Because
pawis
you're
ka na.
soaking
Wala ka nang magagawa.
Yeah.
Diretso ligo pag uwi.
And then we had to use that escape route nga through Rizal Memorial.
Yes, in the back. I went through that kasi yung kalaban, hindi pa tapos yung game, they're already waiting for you outside.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah.
But little
Violent.
did they
They
know.
chose violent.
No, because they learned, they used to keep them, hindi pinapalabas yung kalaban, papalabasin mo na yung mga Lasal. So we can go through the back door
Yeah.
and come back here to be safe. Pero when they learned about that, before they close the gate, they'll already go out so they can wait for you properly.
Properly. Yeah, but a lot of them didn't know that we had that escape route. You know, parang, dito kay Duan, what? May bridge pala dito.
Doon sa likod, yeah.
Mamaya, I'm in Lasal. Oh, okay. I'm safe.
I think the young people or the current Lasallians would be fascinated to hear about that history. You know, I have a slumbook question, and because of course when you're in campus, you're a teenager, pretty much, you're a kid. What was an embarrassing moment that you can share? You know, live a little that you don't mind. Your family hearing about.
Oh,
Wag naman yun.
that's different.
Oh no, they better not tune in.
Anto, according to height, mauna na ako.
According to age.
According to age also, or alphabetical, una pa rin ako.
Wala kang lusot.
I think mga first year, I was first year and my cousin from Merinol, they were going to have their graduation ball. So, but a lot of her batchmates didn't have dates, so he asked me to get dates for them. So it's about 8 or 9 of them that I got dates for. So, in return, they got a date for me also to the grad ball. So, exciting to pick her up. Tapos pagdating sa intercon, nakaganyan yung coat. Then, when I got there, I had to wear it doon sa elevator before going up. Sabi ko, bakit sumikip nung ano ko? Sumikip nung Amerikana ko. Sabi ng date ko, may hanger ka pa sa likod. Kung hindi nakakahiya, hindi ko alam po.
And how old were you then?
How young was I?
How young were you then?
17 siguro.
Oh, 17.
Yeah.
And you drove or
No, may...
Chauffeur.
I had the driver, the car assigned to me, and only to end up like that. Okay.
and that lucky lady that was your date? Did you ever hear from her again or
No comment.
past is past? Okay, Doc Louie.
Hindi, this one's not so embarrassing as parang mortifying.
Okay, so I'm like all ears.
Exam. Exam. Pagdating sa exam, where the heck is my calculator?
Oh no, that's such a nightmare.
Wala. I took an exam without a calculator.
And a slide rule, right?
Yeah.
Not even a slide
Slide
rule.
rule,
Yeah.
no, slide
Talaga,
rule.
talaga, wala. Buti na pumasa pa ako. Wala, I put yung mga long multiplication, I did the long. Pero yung mga sine tangent, mga ln na, mga ganyan, wala. Yun, talagang still the stuff in my parang, and siyempre, yung teacher was not very, parang, no borrowing of calculators. Of course not. Parang, so ngayon talagang, ako, I do the same to the students. Wala kang calculator.
How did you know? During my time, I was in your position, and I sucked it up. And Bombit.
I won't give you mine yet. I'll give you my wife's. My wife came from a conservative Chinese school. Yeah, and so I think her cringeworthy moment happened on the very first day, where her older sister had to bring her to the building in which her class was. And then I think she was shocked at she was shocked at seeing classmates of hers curse and smoke. Yeah, so that's how. And
pwede pang mag-smoke on campus.
And in a sense, that was kind of the experience that I would relate to as an embarrassing moment, because so I did high school in Tobel, and that was a bubble. But you only realize it when you come to university.
Yes.
When you come to university, yeah. So you've got blockmates from everywhere else. Because I think I was the only one from my high school in the commerce block of 88. So I didn't know anybody coming in. And sitting beside me was the son of the mayor of Bacolod. And then Vince Groyon was in that class too. And then we've got people from everywhere. So just being able to meet up with people from such different backgrounds as yours, it was pretty jarring, I think. It took me a couple of weeks.
Culture shock.
Yeah. To the small extent, you can say it's culture. I'm sure it's bigger in other universities. But yeah, that was...
Yeah,
Nalala ko yung smoking because I used to buy my cigarettes. 25 centavos, you get 3 sticks of Marlboro or 2 sticks of Philip Morris then. And they would sell it at the North Gate.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you can smoke it inside, right?
yung mga vendor na yan, di ba? Isa pang, around LaSalle at that time.
Yeah, and they would know the students already.
Yeah.
Parang the one, sino may across the street, yung kilala ni Miguel?
Si Jenny?
Jenny,
Yeah.
well, that was our time. There was a vendor of
Yeah, at saka yung
famous
magbabalot
one.
would actually
Jenny.
come on campus.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, and be selling balot doon sa...
Wala pang Agno no? Wala pang Agno no?
Wala pang food court
Wala
in
pa.
Agno.
Wala.
So after basketball practice, nandun yung mga Because nga, as statistician, I had to attend the practice. And then doon si Jake with Chico would eat a dozen baluts.
A dozen?
In one sitting.
Yeah, he was with the volleyball.
One
He was with the
dozen?
volleyball team.
Iniwan na yung basket sa kanya.
Yeah, and then yung mga ice cream vendor. And then Visayan Gilids.
We have to share more about Gilid. If you
Gilid
could-
of Benil, which is Miguel now, which is where One Archers is now. That
Oh.
used to be a row of houses.
But there used to be a tennis court.
Tennis and basketball court, diba?
Oh, yeah.
Overgrown with grass.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Velasco now?
No, no, beside that walkway beside Velasco. Ay nga, Velasco is nga. Oh, wala pa Velasco nun.
Wala pang Velasco nun. Oh.
Well, and then, that would be a row of houses doon. And they put up and then, yung lumpia, you pass it through the fence.
Depends.
I can picture it, like just hands holding lumpia with suka.
With suka, yeah. So yan, dyan kumakain yung mga engineer kasi nga yung malapit sa Miguel. Yan,
That's
where-
right. Tama.
Give love with Lasallian Giving. Lasallian Giving is a new online donation facility that calls us to spread love for our Lasallian mission. Please visit the Lasallian Giving portal to donate via e-wallet or online banking, or go to any of our over-the-counter payment centers to support DLSU. Lasallian friends and alumni may donate any amount to the following projects and campaigns: scholarships for Lasallian Legacy Fund, sports, culture and arts, infrastructure and facilities, this podcast, and Santuario de la Salle. Leave a legacy, strengthen our animo. Give now at www.dlsu.edu.ph/give.
I think that was also when Brother Benedict had his first computer, no? We had
Yeah, in Miguel.
the first school to have a computer.
A computer.
What do you call those cards? Yung,
Hindi,
Punch cards?
paper
Yeah.
tape. Paper
tape.
tape tayo. Yung dilaw na tititititititi.
Paper tape.
Yeah, and you would, yeah,
That was
run it
state of
through.
the art.
ilang megabyte?
Yeah, we were only the second, 32K. Memory.
32K
Saka
memory.
walang magnetic storage. Well, there was magnetic storage, but that was only for the operating system. Yung programs natin, we stored on magnetic tape na dilaw na you had to-
What did you use them for? Enrollment?
Programming. Oh,
Programming
everyone, foresight of Brother Benedict.
Yes.
Na parang he required everyone, every single person, pati liberal arts, everyone, to learn computer programming, basic. So even among the older last
Forward
lives,
thinking. That's
you
Yeah.
would
Ahead
not
of
see
the
anyone
time.
who's computer illiterate. Even even among even people older than us, we all they knew how to program. It's ka talagang hardcore programming, hindi Excel or
Hindi menu-driven.
hindi menu-driven or
Prompt lang
hindi
talaga
hindi PowerPoint or ano. Talagang 4i equals 1 to
Ito typing mo pa yung command mo talaga. No?
I'm sure literal coding.
talagang coding. Yeah.
Coding talaga.
Yeah, we actually programmed it to plot a circle.
Yeah,
We were the ones inside harassing letting and sina Janet would actually let us the
Who's that?
technicians
Right.
Janet and Fidel, yan, mga legendary names.
Hey, Fidel na lang.
Kasi supposed to be may time limit ka eh. Pero pag wala si Brother Benedict, they'd let us, just let us loose. And, like parang, okay, do whatever you want. Parang, yeah, ay, no. Ikaw, nag-programming ka rin siguro. Hindi?
Ako?
Oo.
Wala sa amin. Behavioral science ako from...
Pero hindi, I knew
Hindi
everyone,
ako
baka from our,
shift nito.
from our batch nila, na everyone was required.
Mm.
Talagang pati, even the basketball players nga.
Ay, baka nung 75 yun, nung entry mo. Nung entry mo.
And pati basketball players nga were learning how to program a computer. And si
Kila Peter Lay, kila...
si Magudi.
Magundi.
He actually became a tech he became
Magudi?
one.
A techpreneur or
Player si Magu?
Hindi, became a tech, he was in a .com. He became a CFO of a .com.
Okay.
That eventually went under. But he became,
Nice.
he became very rich.
Maybe one of the first.
And
ano.
he says, kasi natuto ako ng programming
Sa Lasal.
natuto ako ng basics sa Lasal. Ayan.
A key component also of campus life are the people we meet, no? So I wanted to ask, what of the friends that you met in campus, or like myself, I met my husband in campus, or how would you cite those people now? Are you still friends with
Oh, yeah.
Sir Gerry? You want to go first?
Iniisip ko pa because from Lasal Green Hills, a lot of us also ended up here sa college. So that's why siguro yung remembering names was not hard for me because a lot of them also came from the high school. Then yung mga co-eds, bago lang yun eh. And the others were also batches older than you who also came from the same high school. That's why I said earlier, I used to remember them by names and or faces or both.
Yeah, and of course Facebook. We lost contact. And then, but Facebook helped bring us all back together.
And reunions.
Yeah, and then
Homecomings.
We have
Homecoming.
We have Viber groups now.
Now, yes.
And Tinder, right?
What's that?
Grinder, alam niya.
Dark web.
Grinder, alam niya.
Itong Viber, kakatapos lang ng, I'm wearing this because this is where I started sa Lasal Green Hill. So we just had our 50th anniversary since graduation, homecoming, golden kami. So that's where I got to meet again after 50 years. Most of them, and then there's this Viber group nga, which connected us all together again. But before this, wala, we lost touch with each other.
We're still searching for quite a few.
We're going to use those Viber group chats to promote this podcast. We're going to share it in those Viber group chats.
I'm sure you'll
communities.
have a lot of volunteers who want to.
Why not?
Who want to get
Yes.
onto the podcast.
Pa-plug ko lang to, this is our batch shirt.
Nice, 1973. Very nice.
And we had a classmate who made this serpentine stones, which madami nun sa Zambales. So he's from Zambales, so he made grad pictures of 50 years ago and your current pictures side by side. And that was all part of the souvenirs we got for that year. So,
Before and after.
yeah,
Ang tsaga.
before and after. oo.
Swerte nyo, may mga matyaga sa ganun.
Yeah.
Sa amin, wala eh.
And discs, thumb drive na may music of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. They also put it there and then digitize the yearbook. So,
Wow.
so that's what
That's
we
a
got from
labor
our...
of love.
Yeah, talaga, labor. I salute
Yeah,
the officers of our batch.
That's so
With that
time-consuming.
happened,
How about for you, Doc Louie? Like, your children are also
Yeah.
Lasallian.
Yeah. And my nephew enrolled the fourth generation Razon.
Razon,
Oo.
yeah.
Although Rosales na siya. Because through via my sister yung but fourth generation na ba yun?
College.
I'm second gen. Hindi sa Zobel.
I thought so.
Junior prep ba o senior prep? My father was the first one in the family to his pictures there that was
Yeah, father niya was the first lay person to be naburol dito sa Most Blessed Sacrament.
Yeah.
They have a lot of first. The first engineering graduate was
Female.
Doc Louis, female graduate was sister of Louis.
sister ko
Yeah, si Jeannie.
si Jeannie.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Cross enroll kasi noon no?
And then she transferred over. So that's why she was one of the first.
Engineering.
Pero first chemical engineer, female chemical engineering graduate. And it's funny because she's Rosales now. So there's a picture sa Velasco. She and her husband are right beside each other. Razon and
That's-
Rosales.
I will track that
We should
down.
draw a heart. We should draw.
I will track that down. I will find it.
Yeah,
And we'll take a photo.
BSCHE 77. Yan.
77.
Yeah, don't lose pictures.
We'll find it.
77? Jeannie?
Yeah, kasi engineering nga eh.
At saka si Romel?
Oo. Tapos si Rocky, kasi 5 years nga, 78. Kayo 4 years, so 77.
Yes,
yeah. So, ayan. Yeah, yung father ko kasi was, when he died in 1990, we were able to arrange that his wake would be there in LS. So, parang, okay, Brother Andrew was kind enough to let us. Brother Andrew, Brother Benedict.
I actually wanted to get married here. If it would have been possible.
Oh, yeah. Oh, tama.
It isn't, right?
No.
I tried
It's
that too.
not.
It's not.
It's the parish, though.
It's not a parish. Yeah.
And that's why it's the parish who doesn't want it to
Oh.
happen.
You have to get
That's
the,
what I heard.
the-
Na parang, okay,
You can
they
get
don't
prenups though, can't you? Did you try?
What do you mean?
You can get a prenup shoot done on campus.
Oh, I had that.
Prenup?
That's the first. I mean, I haven't heard of that.
Ano?
Oh, that's
It's
an
news
idea.
to me.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Oh. I haven't seen one. I'm pretty sure.
prenup shoots.
Yeah.
Siyempre,
I'm
inisip
pretty
ko agad
sure.
prenup
Oo,
contract.
Yeah.
Prenup
Prenup contract. Pwede rin.
Kasi yung son ko, tsaka yung daughter-in-law ko, they met here also eh. Two of my sons graduated here. Parang next generation. Parang sila Louie. So,
Yeah.
fourth generation na kayo.
Second, tapos our
No.
kids.
Nilolo ko na.
I think that's what it means. Yeah.
Maybe the age jokes again. It's fourth generation na kami. And my father's there. High school, 49.
Speaking of generations, how different is it now? Or are there some things that still remain? Because you see it not just in your children, but you, Sir Gerry, lalo you're interacting with the current crop of athletes. Has there been any difference from past Lasallians?
As far as
The generation, of course, they're born, they're digital natives. It's a contrast between you na slide rule during your time, and then now everyone has an iPhone. Even I am shocked because dati to enter campus, you have to register your laptop because it was such a
It was a big deal. Back
yeah,
deal kasi
it was a rarity. But now everyone totes one
then. Or two.
or two.
yeah. Or phone. Iba phone na lang eh, di ba?
Yeah, iPad.
Oo.
Yung intensity no, athletics is just really.
Yeah,
Or extracurriculars in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are much more intense now.
More professional. now.
dati yung mga athletes, makakuha lang ng jacket, they're happy already. And there's no such thing as scholarship. Na lang yun.
Yeah.
Si Louie would know that. I think Limengbeng was the first scholar.
Yeah. Ito Santaneo
athlete, yes.
who first started giving scholarships. Yan yung sina Arnaiz, yung si Apable, Joy Cleopas, they were the first ones. So Ateneo broke that barrier. Dati talagang it was all tuition paying students who just happened to love basketball.
Yes.
And then Ateneo started giving scholarships. And talagang,
1969 yan.
I think so, yeah.
It set the precedent.
Tell us more. What else did they do?
And so we started giving scholarships too. Hindi talagang tuloy-tuloy na.
The arms race.
Arms race,
Allowances. Now we have to be a billionaire. We have to have a billionaire sponsor. Not just peso billionaire, dollar billionaire. Dapat. They used to practice 3 times a week.
3 times a week.
Oo. Kasi shared lang yung gym eh. So,
PE class pa doon.
may PE class pa. One gym. Yung basketball, MWF, yung volleyball yata.
Teka, yung
Twice a week
gym ba
lang.
na to yung Athanasius?
Athanasius Gym. Where Yuchenko is now.
Yeah, where Yuchenko is now.
Yung volleyball yata twice a week lang kasi sila on Tuesday, Thursday. I don't know if they practice Saturdays. So MWR. Tapos yung girls pa would be 5 to 7. Yung boys 7 to 9. Talagang
Kaya siksikan talaga
Hard
doon
stop.
sa ano.
talagang
7
sila
p.m.
talagang agawan sa facilities and what nobody did weights, nothing. A little road work during weekends. Yun talagang amateur pa talaga.
But now it's at a high level, no? The conditioning, the training, the rigor,
Yeah.
the ecosystem.
Pero kasi lahat doon at noon at tawag ito yung the value of nung sports that they give to the school and to even the students or the people like me. I was a cheerleader in high school, and then I was here during the Lim Eng Beng times up to 77, 70, and 74 last year niya. And then I lost touch in sports Lasal until Bombit knows this during the forfeit of Lasal. It was also the time my father was sick. So our winning every year was a consolation to us who had to look after our father. So it was after he passed away in 2001 when we got the last of the forfeit. And after that, I parang decided I'll help contribute because to sports because of what it did to me and to us, my family. That's why I volunteered to do
I
sports
love
work
that.
for Lasal, starting with AA. So just helping around, looking for managers for teams. Then
Yeah.
from people from Canada, yung the Gayoso brothers, and then football teams, and then eventually I ended up with the sports office. So alam ko yung value nung sports, even from the schools, yung enrollment, di ba? It also helps sa marketing.
Totoo ba yung kwento na ikaw yung gumagawa ng schedule ng UAE?
Totoo yun, totoo yun. Ako yung testigo dyan. I have
The one who makes the schedule for the
Godfather.
UAAP.
Even when we're not hosts.
Sir Gerry is the godfather of the UAAP.
Hindi kasi you have to do parallel tallies eh. Sometimes, nakakaya man sabihin, the host, they make a mistake. I mean, you do a tally of football, tapos may goal difference of hindi zero difference. Inad mo lahat ng 4 and again, tapos, bakit hindi zero to, it has to be zero. So, sabi ko, bakit ganun? I mean, they make mistake like sa judo. We missed one place because mali yung sulat nila. So, we became second place because you brought it up. Or they were awarding third place to UST. Sabi ko, hindi. Kami in third place, UST second place, and they were the host.
Clerical error.
Hindi. Ano lang yun, siguro, OC lang kasi din ako. That's why, up to now, I do that. And then, I update. Because you have to let everybody know from the ball boy to the transportation to the scheduling of PT assignments and the uniform color. Because when you put the schedule, the one on the left, nung list, wear white or light
Yeah,
color.
light.
The one on the right, work dark color. So, yung uniform assignment included, transpo, ball boys, PT.
I have a
So,
controversial question. You mentioned Lim Meng Beng a lot already, but who's your favorite athlete to come out of these halls? Or talagang yung mabait, yung pinakamagaling, or sino yung left a great impression with you?
Madaming great names, but there are also like lesser known one. We had a softball player, kabatch ni Director Joy of OSD. They were from Pampanga. She didn't make it sa entrance, so she had to be reconsidered and reconsidered until she was able to come in. So under the sportsman, she was able to transfer to a regular course. She was from the province. She was member of the national team. She was a member of our softball team, and she had her studies. Yung di na-consider initially, nag-cum laude, graduate from us.
Oh.
Yes. And she took up nursing after.
Yeah,
here.
that sounds like a LaSalle story.
That's an amazing story.
She took up nursing, also graduated cum laude. She's now based in Australia.
Wow.
Married. Yeah.
What's her name?
Reilane Arjo.
We will find her.
Yes, the best
that
friend
is
of
such
our OST director, Joy.
I see.
They both were taken from Pampanga. They were put in high school here to acclimatize them to Manila life. And then they transferred to Salle because Mr. Danny Jose was the one who got them. So I suppose you remember that, Mr. Danny Jose. So, nalala ko si Mr. Danny Jose because hindi pa masyadong organized yung sports office nun as it is now. So he used to text me to find out ano yung standings natin sa General Championship. And
That's a direct line, ha? Grabe ang taas na.
I will be asking his office para
Dapat.
Ang
hindi
taas
naman
naman
yata
ng...
batang ano lang doon. Ganun lang ang
Grabe
kausin
naman.
at inusuto.
Ikaw na ano.
Napaka-high ranking ng reliable source.
UAAP really needs parang may permanent secretariat ba UAAP?
Now, meron.
Meron na. Oh, they need a website and everything, di ba?
We also have, they also have, so,
Hindi, tiningnan ko pa recently under construction.
yung content kasi yung ano doon eh.
You, Doc Louie, because as a professor, and you've mentored countless students.
Students?
Oo. Name one, like,
Well, syempre, the one I will... Top of mind would be si Raymond Tan, who is our BTRI now. Talagang, oh my God.
how was he back then?
Ayan, ito ba yung... He knows this story. Talagang...
We'd love to hear it.
You give quiz one. Di parang pagbalik ng... What the hell? Who's this guy? His solution's better than mine. What the... parang una akala ko mali pero tama yung answer. Tapos
Chamber Basitan.
oh my
Quiz
God,
skill.
he came up with a more elegant solution than mine.
Wow.
Kasi akin straightforward. Also for teaching din naman kasi. Parang, so parang noon pa man, talagang he was...
Prodigy pala siya.
And all of his teachers, and some of his teachers are still here, would say na parang, si Raymond. And, and when we became colleagues sa faculty, because I rejoined the faculty, he had just come in as a faculty member. I kept telling people, no, it's just a matter of time. Lalampasan tayo ni lahat. Yun na nga. So, yan. There's a couple more. One of them is a professor now in Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. Yeah, talagang editor-in-chief of a journal. Yeah, I brought in Yung King Lun.
Yung King Gun, okay.
Lun, yeah.
Ano? Student mo, classmate?
Student ko.
Yung
And then,
Lolo na nga.
so yun, brilliant guy din. Parang, I recommended him that he go to, get his PhD sa Notre Dame. And came back, and then eventually joined HKUST, which is really one of the most highly ranked in the world.
Wow. And of course, Bombit as...
Well, I'll answer the athlete question, not the student question. So I guess we like athletes who go through adversity, right? So my old school example is Gia Banilla, because he came from the same high school and we rode the same bus throughout grade school and high school. And he was a superstar back then, but we hadn't joined the league. So big man on campus siya, in a very small campus. And then he joined the varsity here. And then I think because he was second stringer to Dean Dopomaren, he barely played, I think, the first 4 years. And then maybe on his fifth year, it was 1989. He wasn't even the starter in that team. I think si Monasterio yung starter nung
Teddy.
Teddy,
and in game 2 in the do or die match against FEU, Monasterio fouled out. Yeah, and then Gio Bonilla in overtime scored something like 7 points.
Which was big for an overtime.
That's
Not
big
just
for him.
yeah, and it was in a do or die match, and then so basically he saved the season, and then we went to a third game. We won our first championship, and then the following year, siya na yung starting point guard, and
Yeah.
I think even the old timers will recognize the 1990 team as probably the most dominant team. That was the year that we got 3 matches forfeited because of Noli Locsin.
Ah, yes.
But we would have swept that season.
We would have swept that season.
We were that dominant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
1990.
yeah.
1990.
Oh, not forfeit yung first 3 games because of Noli
Yeah.
Locsin.
Oh, we still won, di ba?
We still won the championship.
We still won the
Very
championship.
readily at that time. We were,
Yeah, talaga.
Including the following year.
including the following year. Yeah. And then I think more recently, although hindi pa siguro siya ganun ka-recent, si Cholo. So si Cholo 2001 pumasok yun. Cholo Villanueva.
Oh, okay pala siya nun.
And that guy went through everything.
Injury.
Yeah, I mean, he spent 6 years in college. I think maybe even 7 years. Yeah, but came out of it with one of the really great LaSalle sports stories.
And T.Y. Tang.
And T.Y.
Yeah,
He
T.Y.
came in a
Tang,
year
because
after.
when he first came in, it was Mike Cortez.
He came in at the worst possible
Yeah.
time because T.Y. wasn't just expected to replace Mike Cortez. So I think he's an all-time great among the LaSalle
Yes,
basketball
legendary.
teams, right? But he also came in at that unfortunate time when online forums were becoming a thing.
Yeah.
So in the past, if
Yes.
people wanted to talk badly about players, you could just do it around the table. Right? But now everything is broadcast. So T.Y. came in during that very poisonous period.
And I think it was I think the lineup was Mike Cortez, and it was supposed to be Cholo.
Yeah, but
And
Cholo
then
kept getting
T.Y.
injured.
And then Cholo got injured. And then Mike Cortez got injured too, ba, or something.
Yeah.
And so, yan,
Here's this
T.Y.
kid,
T.Y.
here's this
came
kid.
Here's the kid, the rookie, na talagang you could see when he went in, talagang he was pale.
Yeah.
Talagang, and he did so badly. And then, yun nga, eventually, he led the team to, and
With Meyerhofer.
yeah, in 2001, and he was playing against L.A. Tenorio.
No, Cholo was a rookie in 2001. T.Y. came in 2002.
Two.
But the championship that both of them won, I think finals co-MVP sila was 2007.
2007.
Yeah, and then-
The redemption year.
That was the one
After the suspension.
he outplayed L.A. Tenorio. I distinctly remember T.Y. Tang was actually outplaying L.A. Tenorio.
Ang laki ng pinagbago niya within
Yeah, talagang-
within those 4 years.
Brother Armin, di ba, made up some award. Sorry. Yeah, because suddenly, Brother Armin said, okay, I'm going to give a President's Award.
Yeah,
And I'm going to
I
give it
remember,
to T.Y.
Deserved.
Because to recognize
Yeah.
his guts and everything.
Yeah, because also, yung scholarship niya, he didn't take it,
Yeah.
unused for another athlete.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And now there's a bench dedicated to TY.
May ganun ba?
I saw it in Alice Building. And speaking of Tenorio, I think he's one of the, most respected, like your enemy, but also your most respected adversary.
Yeah.
He just announced also a health
Yeah.
battle. So
And he still wants to play though.
Pero kahit rookie yun noong 2001, medyo transcendent siya.
Yeah.
in TY, TY was really.
No, I mean,
Tenorio.
si
Tenorio.
Tenorio.
Oh, yeah.
Grabe.
Yeah.
Grabe.
I think he scored 30 points in
Yeah,
game 3, right? Or something
Yeah,
like that.
2001.
2001.
But thankfully we had Sharma. Not Fifi, but the father.
The father. Yeah. Yeah, it was nice to see him. They showed him on TV.
Did they?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
against NU.
We're down to maybe the last 30 minutes. So I guess I'll turn it towards the more sentimental side of things.
It's always been sentimental from the beginning.
But I guess towards the legacy, I want to ask, what part of LaSalle would you like to remain unchanged, or that you would like to be a legacy? Seeing that it's still, of course, serving many young people, many new generations of Filipinos. I know Miss Universe question, no? But what is the soul of LaSalle, if maybe?
The
or-
brothers.
Yeah, I would say.
Di ba, parang it's hard for them. I mean, we're doing a better job than most countries from what I heard. But yeah, recruiting new brothers has been...
LS Hall, the brothers community on top, and teaching minds, and touching heart, and transforming lives. Yeah, I think yun ang ano nun talaga. Embodiment nun.
Yeah, ito. Nag-brother to for a while. Di ba, weren't you studying to be a brother?
No. Sandali lang yun. Scholasticate, yeah.
Pero kasal na ba kayo?
Just to
And
be
then,
clear.
and then you met your wife.
73 yun.
So you were
For a
there
while
with-
lang, for a while.
You were there with Romel, di ba? My brother-in-law kasi.
Kasama ko,
yeah.
sabi.
My brother-in-law, the one who married my sister, was supposed to, was
we
studying
were-
to be a brother.
We were
then-
21 in that batch. I heard that was
and
second
then-
largest.
And then he met my sister.
It's okay. It's a safe space. It's a safe space.
Yeah, pero we did. Because si brother Bernie, di ba? Parang president of what ba? How many schools?
4,
Yeah.
I think.
4. Yeah.
3 or 4.
They're really stretched.
Yeah.
We need more brothers.
Oh, yeah. Sa batch namin 21, si Brother Mike Rapatan, so then Bob, there was Jojo Reyes, also batchmate ko, Dika Darwan.
Si Dicky?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He retired from World Bank recently.
Okay. Yeah, he's yeah.
Pero wala nang tirad sa
Classmate
21.
naman ng brother ko sa mechanical engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good friend. You know, grandson of Fernando Amorsolo.
Yes.
Wow.
Yung mother ni
The
Diki,
master.
Darwan was yung nasa stamp nung Amorsolo. Dinrawing ni Amorsolo yun. Tapos they made it into a stamp. Yung mother ni Diki.
Yeah.
Dicky.
Darjuan.
Darjuan. Diki Darjuan. He was our head cheerleader also in high school. So,
Retired naman. Well, yeah, I guess. Eh, mga edad daw, retired na.
Well, aside from of course, the brothers, no, who are the soul of the community, the glue, what is the, I guess, suite of values or life experience that you feel characterizes the LaSallian education and something that you'd also like to continue for, the succeeding generations? For me, what characterizes LaSalle is the balance between what I call book smarts and street smarts. And should I be blessed with children, that's why I would put them in LaSalle too, because I think that's unique to us. But my favorite thing about LaSalle was to be a critical thinker. That was the rally or the battle cry at the time when I was studying how to be a critical thinker. And that's, I think, informed many of my decisions, in life. So I would ask the same of you.
Yung sports, I think we'd all agree. Yan yung natin in sports, especially at the lower levels. Because my daughters both played basketball for Zobel. So even though parang, you see them now, parang what? They played basketball. And because you learn so much talaga. Parang, teamwork, leadership, perseverance, all of those nice values. Nasabi nga, I keep telling my students, sana, and I tell my friends, and if you have kids, get them into some kind of team sport, even if medyo, not very talented, not blessed with the God-given talents. Pero you learn so much, even if you're and such an experience talaga having the kids play basketball. And they eventually won championships nga. WNCAA, WBL championship, made lifelong friends.
For me, like what you mentioned, Meryl, yung balance na academic and street smart because labas mo ng gate, pwede ka nang hold up in dyan kagad. Diba?
Yeah,
totoo.
which happened to
Totoo
me.
yun na.
Kasi nga nasa loob pa, di ba?
Other campus, masyadong malaki man, you have to walk, they feel safe. Dito, vulnerable ka na. Paglabas mo pa lang, that's part of the learning dito, being exposed at academically at saka yung social, yung sa labas. I do not know lang what will happen if we transfer main tawag nito, school to Laguna. Kasi that's a 51-hectare property, so it's going to be mawawala na yung exposure ng mga bata sa di
Sa
ba?
urban living.
Yes.
Yeah, that happened to me. Biglang may kutsilyo na lang dito.
Talaga? That happened to you, Doc Louie?
Yeah, at crossing Taft Avenue.
Oh
sa
my
estado.
goodness.
Well, meron na sila ng 1960s.
But that's true, Sir Gerry. And that's something that I've been told din na at least yung mga lasalisa marunong makisama. And it's not just yung kapwa lasalista lang yung we can make friends with everyone. We can work with anyone. And that's I think a function of this being able to quickly beyond the short, the walls of the campus, immediately you're in the real world. It's not as sheltered.
Hindi, lasalista ka kahit na anong campus ka nang galing, may connect kayo kaagad eh. Others kasi pag galing ka sa another campus, second class kayo. Yung inclusive culture ng Lasal, yun lang ang ko.
Something about dealing with the Lasalians. They'll always play you straight. Walang yung mga devious political things.
Totoo. Diretso daw kasi ang Lasal. Diretso, prangka.
yung mga dirty tricks na parang
Nasaksakan na pala sa likod.
Yeah, how would you have turned out if you didn't go to Lasal? You think? How would you have turned out?
Mayabang. Tinawag lang akong mayabang. So imagine ko.
Yeah, I don't know. Siguro. Hard to tell. Yeah, because our whole although I did spend 4 years in Ateneo de Davao. Yeah, so, although iba rin yung Ateneo de Davao from I think Ateneo de Manila. So okay, iba pa rin eh.
Tell us more. Nako.
Controversial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean every administration and every board of trustees confronts the question about how LaSalle should project itself as an institution, and it always comes back to the best thing about LaSalle is medyo hindi tayo mayabang, but the worst thing about LaSalle is medyo hindi tayo mayabang. But I kind of like that space. And I think it's part of the DNA. You have I think it's a healthy attitude towards status, and other people should judge it, not us. But I guess it's part of the reason why it's not that difficult for people from LaSalle to get along with others.
Yeah, and sometimes you enter a room or a public place, kung anong nararamdaman mo na kung saan galing yung eskwelahan yung mga nandun sa loob eh.
Yeah, we can always tell before a game.
Yeah.
We can always tell where the LaSalle tables are.
That's true. Somehow you can tell.
Hindi matuturo yun. Tututunan mo lang talaga yun dahil doon sa culture na kinalakihan mo eh. Ako, hindi lumaki, tumanda lang ako.
Yeah, it's actually a serious question these days because the option of offering undergraduate distance learning courses is being considered. But then you ask yourself, right, what are the parts of the LaSallian student experience that are irreplaceable? Like, how much of it comes from being on campus and sharing this very congested space with lots of people from different...
Yung punctuality na lang eh. It's going away eh.
That's what you've observed.
Yeah, parang nawawala yung adherence to the time nga. Yung may stress nga pag nadinig mo yung ta-na-na-na.
The first time I heard it when I was here for the ocular, I was joking, oh my God, I feel reactivated. You know, like, I have to rush to class. You know, it's such a mnemonic device. You know, talagang it triggers that core memory. Eh.
But I think there were generations that didn't pay that much attention to punctuality. Because I still distinctly remember, still have a memory, and it seems to be a fairly recent, which probably means 20 years ago, a fairly recent memory of Brother Bernie deciding that he would start meetings even if it was only one person
Yeah,
there.
DOT.
So
Definitely on time.
and that became a thing. But it wasn't there during the 80s for sure.
Yeah, and then yun nga, Brother Bernie, I think, is trying to bring it back. Parang, it's,
10 o'clock.
let it slide. And then parang deadline, tapos, sige, pagbibigyan yung student, yung ganyan. And so it becomes automatic with the students na parang, ay, hindi masusunod yung deadline, i-extend yan.
Final words. LaSalle blank.
Animo?
Spelling.
Spelling. LaSalle spelling.
3 times. LaSalle blank. Oh, blank LaSalle. Animo.
Animo
LaSalle
LaSalle.
forever.
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 Parang
Jesus in our hearts.
Live Jesus in our hearts.
Forever.
Yeah, I don't have a better answer than that.
Ayun na nga.
Bigla akong kinabahan.
That's all the time we have. Thank you so much,
I
Doc
forgot to
Louie, Sir
LS.
Gerry, Bombit.
What time's your next?
So we
So
can...
another podcast.
Yes.
Sino naman ngayon?
Prima, Bel Villavicencio, Montrejano.
Kaget.
Okay. And
You want to stick around for that?
Why?
You know them, don't you?
yeah. Manggugulo.
Come back. Give love with Lasallian Giving. Lasallian Giving is a new online donation facility that calls us to spread love for our Lasallian mission. Please visit the Lasallian Giving portal to donate via e-wallet or online banking, or go to any of our over-the-counter payment centers to support DLSU. Lasallian friends and alumni may donate any amount to the following projects and campaigns: scholarships for Lasallian Legacy Fund, sports, culture and arts, infrastructure and facilities, this podcast, and Santuario de La Salle. Leave a legacy, strengthen our animo. Give now at www.dlsu.edu.ph/give.